this is working. Welcome to Yin Yoga. Today our practice is going to be all about the spine. I know I spent the day outside working out and my spine could use a little deep untangling. So suggested props are a couple of pillows or yoga blocks. You may or may not need them, but it's good to have them handy. And maybe a blanket to sit on. In Yin Yoga, we go into a pose. We find that edge that's just right, not too little sensation, not too much sensation, and we hold it. And that helps lubricate and nourish the joints. So we're going to start by coming into the here and now with just a short meditation. So sit in a comfortable position with your sits bones even on the ground, your spine nice and tall, crown of the head reaching for the ceiling. And then close your eyes or have a soft gaze towards the ground and take a nice deep breath in and let it out of the mouth. Do that a couple more times. And then close your mouth and let the breath come in and out through your nose. Imagine that there's this blue light shining down on you. And as the blue light comes down and comes over you, it melts away any tension that you're feeling. So from the crown of the head, melts it all the way down to the shoulders. From the shoulders all the way down to the waist. From the waist all the way down to the ground. Feel any muscular tension just soften and melt. And take a quick scan down your body and notice how you're feeling. How you're feeling as you're sitting here in the here and now. Notice your breath, the way it feels going in and out. And let the tension melt down. Blink your eyes open. We're going to start standing up today. We're going to do what's called a dangle, which is also could be called a ragdoll. Going to lose my head for a second. So stand with your feet hip width apart. Spine nice and long, shoulders back, and then fold forward, bringing the hands to the opposite elbow. And let yourself come down, let gravity bring you down. And bend your knees as much as you need to feel the spine lengthen. This position helps to decompress the spine, lengthen it. And on the exhale, let gravity pull you down. Feel your spine move with your breath. The inhale expands the back, and the exhale softens you. Again, look for that edge, that not too much, not too little feeling.
And let yourself sink down. You may find as you settle into the pose that your edge shifts, and then you can look for that new edge once again. Then to come out of the pose, bend your knees and scoop the hips and come back up to standing. And just shake it out. Come down to a sitting position. If you have any sciatica or low back problems, you might want to sit on a blanket or one of your cushions. We're going to come into a butterfly. So the soles of the feet are going to come together and bring them as close as feels comfortable. The sits bones are even on the ground. Spine is nice and tall. And then hinge from the hips. If you have low back problems, keep your spine straight. If you don't have any problems, then allow gravity to bring you down. You can put some cushions under your knees if you would like, or some blocks. You can hold the feet or have the hands out and let yourself come all the way down. Find that edge and settle into the pose. This pose is good for hip flexibility and also stretches the spine. And as you settle into the pose, come back to your breath. Feel the ribs expand on the inhale. And let the exhale soften you forward. Let your breath take you into a meditative state. And use the breath to soften the edge. And to come out of the pose, use your hands to walk yourself back up. Bring your hands behind you, your legs forward, and just shake them out. And we're going to come back into butterfly, except this time we're going to bring one leg out, so half a butterfly. Spine is nice and long, the hips are even on the ground. Turn towards the leg that's long, and then come forward. Again, if you have back problems, you can stop right here, keeping the spine nice and long. If you don't, let gravity pull you forward. The elbows can be on the ground, the hands on the ground, the hands around the feet, whatever feels comfortable. Again, find that edge, that Goldilocks edge of just right. And then use your breath to let yourself deepen into the pose. You'll find that as you settle into the pose, you'll feel it stretch on one side more than the other. Today we're moving the spine in all 6 ways that it moves. This releases the low back, stretches the spine, and all those ligaments in between the vertebrae. Use your breath to soften the discomfort. What you're looking for is a dull sensation, anything that's sharp, burning, stabbing, tingling. You've gone too far, so you need to come back out of the pose. And come out of the pose, walk your hands back up. Lengthen your spine. Bring your hands back behind you, lean into them. Bring your knees up and do a couple of windshield wipers. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So the feet come together and then the leg goes out, spine nice and long, weight even on the hips. Turn towards the leg that's out. The foot is flexed and come on down. Stop here if you have low back problems. If not, allow gravity to pull you down. Feel the sensation, find that just right edge. And then come back to your breath. You may find differences between this side and the previous side. That's okay. You just make a note, no judgment. Use it as a point of curiosity more than anything else. Let your inhale expand your back. And your exhale, soften you down. If your edge disappears, look for it again. See if you can keep the weight even on your sits bones. And come out of the pose, walk yourself back up until you're sitting nice and tall again. Bring your hands behind you, your knees up, and bring your knees from side to side for some windshield wipers. Our next pose is caterpillar. So you want your legs out straight in front of you. The feet are flexed. Sits bones are even on the ground. The spine is nice and tall. And then hinge from the hips. If you have back problems, you can stay here. If not, let gravity pull you forward. Your hands can be on the floor, on your shins, on your toes, whatever feels good. This is a good all over stretch. And if having the knees flat bothers you, you can put a pillow under your knees. And let's always come back to your breath. Feel the inhale, widen your back. And the exhale, soften you down. As you breathe, you may even feel a little bit of a massage between your thighs and your belly. Well, this pose is also good for digestion. Find your just right edge and allow as much of the muscular tension to soften. We want the sensation to be in the joints, not so much in the muscles. So see how much you can let the muscles go. This should feel good for your low back. If it doesn't, you've come too far forward. And you might want to pull back a little bit. You come out of the pose, use your hands to walk yourself back up. Bring your hands behind you, bend your knees, and do some windshield wipers. So our next pose is Sphinx. That's really good for the lumbar spine. Come onto your mat and lie down with your forehead on your folded hands. And then bring your hands forward and slowly move your elbows back. Again, to that just right edge. The legs are back. The elbows are pulling back energetically. The shoulders are down and back. And the gaze is at an angle towards the floor so that the back of the neck is not stressed. And again, you want to find that just right pose. If this doesn't feel good, you can put a pillow under your belly or under your elbows. Then when you've found that just right edge, see how much of the muscles of the glutes, the thighs, how much of that hold you can let go. Find your breath. Use your breath to soften the sensations. And if at any time this starts to not feel good, you can always bring your elbows forward a little more.
Focus on your breath, on the feeling of it coming in and out. Allow the shoulders, the glutes, the thighs to relax as much as you can. Find that just right edge. So we've moved the spine forward, a little bit sideways, and now we're moving it back. Feel the sensation. Breathe through it. Your edge disappears, look for it again. Feel into the sensation and then come back to your breath. And come out of the pose, come back down, bring your hands forward. Turn your head to one side and then bring the knee on that side up. And breathe into the release. And then straighten your leg back out. We're going to come into seal this time. If seal feels like too much, you can come back into Sphinx. So let's come back into Sphinx, elbows underneath. Find that just right spot. Shoulders are down and back. Legs are long. And then once you're into Sphinx, if you'd like to move into seal, just press into your palms. The more forward your hands are, the easier it is. So find that just right spot for you. Again, we're looking for a sensation that's dull and achy. Anything that's sharp, shooting, burning, tingling is too much. Then once you've found your edge, come into your body. Let go of as much muscular tension as you can. And then breathe. Let your breath come and go on its own. And if this gets to be too much, you can always come back down to Sphinx. Breathe into the sensation. Let go of muscular effort. use your breath to ease the sensation. And come out of the pose, bring your elbows back down, bring your arms across, make a little pillow, turn your head the other way. I'm turning the same way or else you won't be able to hear me. And then bring the knee on that side up. Feel the release in your low back. And then straighten out your legs, bring your palms underneath. Come into tabletop for just a few moments, and then we'll move into a couple of cats and cows. Arch the heart forward, exhale, round. Do a couple at the pace of your own breath. And then we'll come onto our backs for the banana pose. Lie down, bring your legs down, and then move your feet in one direction. Your arms come up and bend towards the same direction as your feet. You're getting a nice side stretch here. So you might want to hold on to your wrist with your opposite hand. If this hurts your shoulders to have it like that, you can bend your elbows. That's okay. And if you want more of a side stretch, bring your foot over your ankle. And then settle into the stretch. On your inhale, feel your whole side opening up. And on your exhale, soften down. The inhale makes your ribs spread apart. And the exhale softens you back down. We're stretching the spine sideways. Stretching the obliques. And I'll roll those little muscles in between the ribs. And if you stop feeling the stretch, you can deepen the curve, find your edge once more. Again, nothing sharp, shooting, burning, any of that. You need to back out of the pose. Find your breath. Feel it open you up. Come out of the pose. If your ankle is crossed, uncross it. Then walk your feet back to center and your arms back to center. And then bring your knees up for a nice hug. Do some hip circles to release. And go the other way. And then we're going to stretch the other side. So bring your legs back down. Walk your feet towards the opposite end of your mat. Your arms come up and round towards your feet. Grab your wrist if you would like. And then cross your ankle if you want. Come back into your body. Feel for your edge. And then find your breath. Feel it open up the whole side. And let the exhale soften you down. Feel your ribs fan open on the inhale. And your whole side soften down on the exhale. If your ankle is crossed, uncross it and walk your feet back to center and your arms back to center. Bring them back down. Bend your knees and then bring your knees up to your chest. Give them a nice squeeze and then a couple of hip circles on each side. And then bring your feet down. Keep your knees bent. And then bring your legs down to one side. You might need to readjust your shoulders so they're both on the ground. If one of them lifts too much, you can always put a pillow there. And then straighten the bottom leg and bring your hip up. So we're having a nice mid-back twist here. Your head can be looking at the ceiling, towards your knees, or away from your knees, whatever feels good for you. And again, find that edge where it's just right, not too much, not too little sensation. And once you've found your edge, come back to the breath. And use the breath to soften the sensations. Feel your chest expand on the inhale, and your whole torso soften on the exhale. Twists are good to calm the nervous system. If your mind wanders as you're staying in the pose, just bring it back to your breath. Let your breath soften your whole body down. To come out of the pose, fold your bottom leg back up. Inhale your knees up. And then do a couple of windshield wipers on each side. And bring your feet back to neutral, your knees together, and then roll them to the opposite side. Coming onto your hip, your shoulder blades are flat on the floor. You can put a pillow under your knees if you need to, or between your knees if that feels comfortable. And come back into your body, into that sensation.
Feel the feelings that come up. And then use your breath to dissipate the tension. Feel your whole chest expand on the inhale and soften on the exhale. Softening your gaze when you're into the pose helps you find that meditative state. And so you come out of the pose, bring the knees back up. Oh, I forgot to lengthen the leg. Oh well. Bring your knees up, give yourself a nice squeeze, rock from side to side. And we're going to come into our final relaxation pose. You can have the legs out, arms at the side, palms down, up, or on your belly. Or if you have low back problems, then bend your knees and let your knees fall onto each other. That's easier on the low back. And then take a nice deep breath and allow to exhale. And let your body land on the ground. Feel the floor underneath the back of your head, your shoulders, your arms. Let your back widen against the mat. Your pelvis sink deeper into the mat. Let the ground support your legs. Effortless legs, effortless arms, effortless body. Feel your breath, the way it flows in and out. Feel it expand your ribs sideways on the inhale and soften you back down on the exhale. Let the breath come and go on its own. And let your mind ride on the waves of your breath. You're welcome to stay relaxed as long as you want. If you're ready to come out and make small movements with your fingers and toes, roll your wrists and ankles. Give yourself a nice, good morning all over stretch. And bring your knees back up. Give them a hug. Rock from side to side, giving your low back a nice last massage. Roll to one side. Stay here for a breath and gently push yourself back up to a sitting position. Sits bones even on the ground, spine nice and long. Eyes closed or a low gaze towards the floor. Fold your hands over your heart. And this time, imagine golden light streaming down over you. Liquid sunshine, warming you, lighting you up. And with your next 3 breaths, let that sunshine just fill you right up. Bring your palms together. Thank yourself for taking the time to take care of yourself, to relax, to stretch your body. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I wish you a great rest of your day. Enjoy the sunshine while it's still here. See you next time.